Alright, we're gonna talk about Persona 5 Royale and one of the most stupid boss fights in the whole entire game. Why am I doing this? Because I don't have school today and I'm bored. So I thought I would talk about how to beat and how to, yeah, basically how to beat one of the most stupidest and broken bosses in the whole entire game of Persona 5 Royale. Spoilers in this video because it's the final boss fight and it's the final boss fight, so I mean, I'm gonna try not to spoil, but I can only do so much. So you're probably thinking, well, the most broken boss in the entire game of Persona 5 Royale is a stupid broken mess that is Okumura. But no, I'm not talking about Okumura's boss fight today. I'm gonna talk about the final boss fight, and that is Maruki. Why Maruki and not Okumura? Mostly because I beat the game just like a month ago, and Maruki is kind of still fresh on my mind. He's still pretty broken. I plan to do one of these on Okumura too, though. But yeah, Maruki is the one we're talking about, and God, he is such a bad boss. He's so bad. He's terrible. The way he's designed, the way he plays, and everything about him. And it's really sad because the final dungeon slash palace for Maruki at the end of the game is amazing. It's one of the best in the entire games, and his character arc is also really good. But his boss fight is just a total letdown. It's so sad. Anyways, we're gonna talk about why it's broken and how to beat it. So let's start, I guess. Anyways, what is this boss fight? You fight a mad doctor, not really, but he is, but he doesn't really have a license, but he's a therapist. Anyways, you fight that, but he's a persona user. So you fight him and his Totem of Undying from Minecraft that is infused with tentacles while he is dressed up as a JoJo character. That's the boss fight. And you might be thinking that doesn't sound boring. That sounds interesting, but it's still pretty boring and still very broken at the end of it. This bot, this boss has three or really four stages. The first two stages are the only difficult ones, though. Like, once you get to the third and fourth stage, you basically won the boss fight. Unless you haven't been playing the whole game, you cannot lose during the third and fourth stage. The only place you're gonna have trouble with, and the hardest, most difficult part, is the first and second stage of this boss fight. It is a pain. It's so hard and so broken. And really, it's like I said earlier, because it's boring. Every single boss in Persona is usually really fun to play against to some extent, looking at you, Okumura, and Maruki. But all the other bosses are super fun to play against, and they keep you entertained when you fight them. This boss doesn't do that at all. It is a boring mess, and that's what makes it so difficult because this boss fight is long. You're gonna spend a good 30 to 25 minutes on it. That doesn't sound long, but that's pretty long for a Persona 5 boss fight. And that's like only the first stage. There's four stages, mind you. So that's only one of the key reasons why this boss is not very fun to play against and just not good, is because it's very boring and it's really hard to sit through the final boss of the final game just to have a boring boss fight. And on top of all the other bullshit stuff he does, this is this is just a low end of it. Anyways, how are you gonna beat this guy? What does he do? Well, you, I think, I mean, after playing him so many times, I believe you can beat this boss fight with any party member you want. Of course, you have to have Joker, but I use Joker, Morgana, Kasumi, and Ryuji to beat this boss fight. But I also almost beat him with Joker, Morgana, Kasumi, and Akechi. And really think you could beat this boss fight with anyone in the whole entire game because that's not really held back by what characters you have. But I will say don't use Haru. Maybe your Haru is built differently than mine was, but Haru is just not very good for this boss fight. She's weak and does a lot of damage. She's a glass cannon, but that doesn't really work very well because that's the only thing she can do, and you need versatility for this boss fight, and a lot of it at that. So I used Joker, Morgana, Kasumi, and Ryuji, but I highly believe you can use anyone you want and still win. Okay, so that's who I use, but how do you actually win? Well, the whole boss fight revolves around the tentacles that Maruki's Totem of Undying spats out from the ground. Basically, your goal of the boss fight is to either kill Maruki or kill his persona. And it's really difficult to do that because of the tentacles in your way. Basically, what the boss fight wants you to do is destroy all the tentacles and then have enough damage to attack either Baruki or his persona. So this whole fight revolves around the baton pass mechanic, and if you are not a good baton passer, then there's not. You just have to practice. Maybe reload an old save file and practice baton pass. I can't really talk about baton pass here and why and what it does, but if you've played this long of the game, you should at least know what baton pass does. You pass it to your partner. It doesn't count as their turn, and they get to do a move. It's pretty good, and the only way you're gonna beat this boss fight, literally. So, like I said, you want to attack Maruki or his persona, and the tentacles are in your way. Basically, if you try to attack Maruki right away with all three tentacles still up, he's just going to block you and you're not going to be able to do any damage. If you try to attack his persona with all three tentacles still up, you're going to do like 2 damage and not going to be able to do anything to the persona. So, the only way to actually damage the persona or Maruki is if you kill all the tentacles. And that's the hard part of this boss fight. Now, here's the most important thing I'm going to tell you about this boss fight. Literally the most important. Do not attack Maruki directly. I know I said the only way to win is if you attack Maruki or his persona, but you can do that, but you shouldn't attack Maruki. Only attack his persona. Well, why? First of all, they both have the same health, so it doesn't really matter which one you choose, you would say. But Maruki has an ability where he can heal himself for between 900 and 800. He can heal himself. And there is no possible way, even if you're the best player in this game, to be able to destroy all the tentacles with Baton Pass and have enough damage left over to damage Maruki past 900 or 800 damage. He's just gonna heal himself the next turn, and you're not gonna get anywhere if you just try to attack Maruki. His persona, on the other hand, is a lot harder to kill because you have to have all three tentacles gone to do good damage, but the persona can't heal himself, and you win the boss fight once you kill the persona, just as if you kill Maruki. But it is literally impossible to kill Maruki. So that's how you win this boss fight, per se. You knock down all the tentacles, and you kill the persona, not Maruki himself. What does knocking down the tentacles mean? Well, if you played this game, you would know you have to find the weakness of each tentacle. At the very beginning, the first phase of the boss fight, each tentacle is going to have the same weakness every time. You're just going to have to throw stuff at it and hope it's weak to it. It will be, most of the time, just throw stuff at it. If it's got a question mark by it when you look to attack it, just throw crap and it moves at it, and you'll find the weakness pretty fast. You'll find what it deflects, you'll find what it negates, you'll find what it's weak to. Basically, you're going to want to knock it down, make it weak. You're going to want to pass the baton to someone else on your team who will make another tentacle weak. That person's going to pass it to your third party member who's going to knock down another tentacle with weakness. And then the last baton pass will be to your last party member who should have a move to deal enough damage to destroy them all with his final baton pass powered up move. Now, that's just the first phase of the boss fight, though. after you do so much damage or last so long to Maruki, it fluctuates. It's so strange. Can't really tell you an exact point. It brings up to the second phase of the boss fight. Basically, Maruki's persona grows more tentacles, and now Maruki can do stuff to you that's not really good at all, and he can heal himself more. What do I mean by not doing good stuff to you? Well, he can like put attributes out on the battlefield that affect you negatively. Basically, he can make it so you can't heal your teammates, or you can't use magical or physical attacks. But the worst one by far is he can do something where you can't use baton pass, which it's just random which one does. But if you get this, it's basically a wasted turn for you because you cannot do anything to this boss without baton pass. Maybe you'll get enough damage to kill one or two tentacles, but you're not going to be able to do anything with that. So you just have to get lucky and hope that if Maruki doesn't bring you down low with one of his big powerful moves, that he makes it so you can't cure your next turn. And it's just RPG, and you're gonna have to get lucky. Or yeah, RG. It's RGP or R. It's RBG or yeah. Never mind. RNG. That's it. Never mind. I see. I got it. Anyways, that's you gotta do. You just gotta destroy the tentacles, and then with baton pass, and then kill his persona. And then his second phase of the boss fight, he can do big, big damage, big healing, and big more tentacles to you. Which, like I said, it's just he puts attributes on the battlefield that really affect you negatively, and you just gotta get lucky that you get ones that like are really bad because there is a couple like it makes you unable to guard, which you're not going to be guarding in any persona boss like this. Other bosses, yeah, but this one, no, you're not going to be guarding anything, so it doesn't matter. And once you do that, you'll be killing his tentacles and doing enough damage to his persona that Maruki will grow tired after persona's defeated, and you can kill him in one shot. And it doesn't it might not sound like it's boring when I'm explaining it now, but just destroying the tentacles over and over and over again, and just him or Ruki saying the same stupid voice lines over and over again, and the background and the area not being the best. It's just it's just a boring boss fight, and it's not fun to play with or play around. So that's how you do it. And then after that, he goes into his third and fourth stage of the boss fight. Like I said, if you get here, you basically already won. I'm I guess I'll mention what happens. I know I didn't really do much researchish on this part, so I might be a little like less to knowing it. But his persona basically turns into a giant golden robot statue, and he attacks you with it. Basically, Maruki's gonna be like on a roof, if I remember correctly, and you're supposed to kill him before his robot dude can kill you, which is pretty easy actually. Just either guard with Joker or and keep healing him, and all your other teammates just damage Maruki. It doesn't take that much to kill him this time. And then after that, he goes inside of his giant robot golden thing, and it punches you directly, but literally you block it one turn, and then the game automatically like wins for you. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is the third and fourth phases are you won basically when you do it. Okay, so that's basically how Maruki is a broken mess and how you beat him. This might not have been explaining it very well. I used a lot of different personas throughout this. But I did have Morgana and Ryuji's personas to third tier, so that helped. And I had uh, Kasumi's persona also to third tier, and I have no idea what I used for Joker. I had so many different personas. It doesn't, but like I said, you can really use anyone. It doesn't matter. You just have to have someone that has a weakness to the tentacles, and the tentacles have the same weakness. Now, on the second phase of the boss fight, I forgot to mention this. The same tentacles weaknesses will like fluctuate. So one tentacle is weak to fire, The second round, it will probably be not weak to fire, and it'll be weak to something else. But that's basically how you beat this boss and how it's stupid. You just gotta knock down all the tentacles, destroy them with Baton Pass, and then have enough turns left to destroy Maruki's persona. That's the gist of it, and that's how you beat it. So that's basically it. I plan to do another videos like this, maybe doing Okumura. I'm probably gonna do Okumura because that boss was actually broken and actually more stupid than this one. But I also want to do other bosses. I think this is a cool little thing to do to pass time. So if you have any other bosses that you think are really stupid and want me to look at and try to like figure out how to beat and how they're broken, put them in the comments below. Please subscribe. I have like not even double-digit subscribers. Anyways, this is how you beat it. Hopefully it was helpful.